Hello, I'm Dr. Linda Parker, a wellness educator focused on men's health in the second half of life. If you're over 65 and wondering what a normal pattern of firmness should look like, you're not alone. The question sounds simple, but the answer is broader than a number. What matters most isn't chasing a schedule, it's understanding the signals your body sends about circulation, hormones, sleep, and stress. When you know what to expect and how to support it naturally, confidence returns, pressure fades, and daily vitality improves. Let's start by reframing the question. Healthy erectile function in mature men is less about constant performance and more about patterns that show your vascular system, nervous system, and hormone rhythm are cooperating. In younger years, spontaneous firmness can feel frequent and automatic. After 65, the pattern changes for most men, but change is not failure. A normal, healthy pattern often shows up as periodic morning firmness, ease when you feel mentally and emotionally connected, and a sense that your body can respond when you give it time, warmth, and calm. That pattern can be steady even if it's not daily, and it can be supported at any age. A practical benchmark helps. Many men over 65 will notice morning firmness 1 to 3 times per week, sometimes less, sometimes more, with natural variability across months. The key is not to track every night like a scoreboard, but to observe a gentle trend over 6 to 8 weeks. If morning firmness becomes rare for a long stretch, or if your ability to achieve or maintain firmness drops suddenly without an obvious trigger, that's useful information. The body is a network. A change here often points to sleep, circulation, mood, medications, or blood sugar elsewhere. What we want is not a rigid quota. We want reliable signs that your system is getting what it needs to work. Why does morning firmness matter? It's a reflection of several quiet processes working well. During REM sleep, your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore branch, has more influence. Blood vessels widen a bit more easily, thanks in part to nitric oxide signaling from the lining of your blood vessels. If you had enough deep and REM sleep, if your breathing was steady, if you weren't fighting reflux or late-night alcohol, and if your hormones followed their natural early morning rhythm, the chances of waking with firmness are higher. No single night defines you, patterns do. Think of morning firmness as a gentle dashboard light. Not the whole engine, but a useful indicator. Circulation is the first pillar. Blood flow depends on flexible arteries and a responsive endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, capable of releasing nitric oxide. That's why general heart health and intimate function are so tightly linked. The same daily choices that help your heart help your confidence below the waist. Short walks after meals, a little strength training, nitrate-rich vegetables like leafy greens and beets, and enough hydration early in the day all add up. When your legs and heart get regular movement, your microcirculation benefits, and your body becomes more willing to respond when you ask it to. Sleep is the second pillar. Testosterone follows a circadian rhythm, peaking in the morning and relying on consolidated sleep to rise adequately. Fragmented sleep, late heavy meals, screens in bed, and late caffeine all blunt that rise. A simple evening routine, dim lights, a lighter dinner, a 10-minute walk, and a consistent bedtime has more impact than most supplements. If you snore loudly, wake choking, or feel exhausted despite long nights, consider getting evaluated for breathing disturbances during sleep. Rested men respond more easily because the body finally gets out of its own way. The nervous system is the third pillar. Firmness is a parasympathetic event. Stress, rushing, and performance anxiety tilt the body toward the sympathetic fight or flight state, which diverts blood flow away from the pelvis. This is why forcing or testing yourself rarely works. Calm works. Simple breath patterns. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. practiced for 5 minutes twice a day. Retrain your body to choose rest and restore when you need it. Gentle warmth over the lower abdomen before bed, a warm shower, slow exhale breathing, and unhurried connection all support the state that allows firmness to emerge. Medications matter. Several common drugs in older adults can affect firmness. Certain blood pressure medicines, some antidepressants, and medications for enlarged prostate may play a role. Never stop a prescription on your own, but do ask your clinician whether there are alternatives or dose timing strategies that minimize impact. Sometimes a small change in timing or type reduces side effects without compromising health goals. This is part of being an informed partner in your care, not a passive recipient. Pelvic floor tone is the often missed pillar. Over time, many men develop a chronically gripping pelvic floor. The muscles are tight, not strong. That gripping can restrict blood flow and make initiation feel more difficult. The solution is not endless squeezing, it's coordination. You want a pelvic floor that can relax and then contract on cue. Practice 3 cycles. Inhale and let the lower belly soften and the pelvic floor release. Exhale and gently contract as if stopping urine for 2 seconds. Relax again. Do 5 to 10 cycles once or twice daily. Over a month, the area feels less clenched, and responsiveness improves because the system can finally move. Nutrition supports all of this quietly. Focus on patterns, not perfect meals. Aim for protein at each meal to support muscle and steady energy. Use olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fish to provide healthy fats that support vascular flexibility. Include leafy greens, beets, citrus, pomegranate, and a small square of dark cocoa most days to nourish the endothelium. Limit late evening alcohol, which fragments sleep and blunts morning rhythm. Front-load fluids earlier in the day and taper toward evening to reduce overnight bathroom trips. Your body likes rhythm. Give it rhythm and it responds. Now, how often should you expect to be fully firm after 65? The honest, science-aligned answer is that it depends on these pillars more than the calendar. Men with stable sleep, consistent movement, coordinated pelvic floors, calmer minds, and medication plans that suit their bodies often report a steady ability to achieve firmness when they're mentally engaged and unhurried, even if spontaneous episodes are less frequent than decades ago. Men who are rebuilding these pillars usually notice improvements over 4 to 8 weeks, not overnight. Expect trend, not magic. Confidence returns when the inputs are consistent. To make this practical, here is a clear 2-month plan you can start tonight, expressed as a narrative so you can follow it without pausing to take notes. For the next 8 weeks, keep dinner earlier and lighter than lunch. Finish eating at least 3 hours before bed. After dinner, go for a 10 to 15-minute walk at a pace where you could talk without losing breath. When you return, dim the lights and silence notifications. Take a warm shower or place warmth over the lower abdomen for 10 minutes while practicing the 4-6 breathing pattern. In bed, read a printed page or listen to calm audio for 5 to 10 minutes. Avoid bright screens. Wake at the same time daily and get 5 to 10 minutes of morning light outdoors, even on cloudy days, to anchor your body clock. 3 days per week, perform a short strength routine. Chair squats, wall push-ups, and a light hip hinge with a backpack for resistance. It should feel doable, not punishing, and should take 12 to 15 minutes. On 2 additional days, walk for 20 to 30 minutes continuously. Once daily, practice the pelvic floor coordination cycles. Once per week, review your progress by answering 4 questions. Did I sleep more consistently? Did I complete my walks and simple strength? Did I practice breathing twice a day? Did I notice at least one sign of easier responsiveness? You are training a system. The system rewards repetition. Let's talk about frequency without pressure. Over these 8 weeks, expect mild variability. Some weeks you might notice morning firmness twice, other weeks once, other weeks not at all, but with better evening responsiveness. The goal is not perfection. The goal is the return of predictability when conditions are right. If you keep the inputs steady and still notice no change after 2 months, especially if you also experience leg cramps on walking, chest tightness, severe fatigue, or a sudden drop in ability, that's an important message to share with your clinician. Intimate function is a vascular event. Sometimes it's the earliest clue that your circulation wants attention. A brief word about safety signals. Seek prompt evaluation if firmness becomes painful, if there's sudden curvature with discomfort, if there's visible deformity after an injury, if you have persistent pelvic pain, if you cannot pass urine, or if you notice a rapid, unexpected decline that doesn't match your general health. Mature confidence includes knowing when to ask for help. You're not weak for seeking answers. You're wise. Examples make this real. Daniel, 72, returned to walking after dinner and practiced the 4-6 breath while listening to music. He kept his phone off after 8 p.m. and moved dinner earlier. His first change wasn't firmness, it was sleep. He woke once instead of twice. In week 3, he noticed morning firmness twice. In week 5, he felt more reliable responsiveness when unhurried. Nothing dramatic happened, steady habits did. Leo, 69, worked at a desk all day and often clenched his jaw. He added micro breaks, 2 minutes each hour to stand, roll his shoulders, and take 6 slow breaths. He practiced the pelvic floor cycles after lunch. By week 4, he described less pressure in the lower pelvis during the afternoon and more confidence in the evening. Jorge, 77, felt defeated after a stressful year. He chose 2 habits only, a light evening meal and a warm shower before bed. His mood improved first, and then slowly, responsiveness followed. He said, "I stopped grading myself and started supporting myself. That shift unlocked progress more than any product. Supplements come up often. Keep them simple and conservative, and always align them with your healthcare team if you take medications. Many men do well with a basic foundation. Vitamin D if deficient, magnesium glycinate in the evening if sleep is restless and your clinician approves, and cocoa flavanols from a small daily serving of high cocoa dark chocolate for endothelial support. If you have blood thinners, high blood pressure, or other conditions, coordinate choices. Nutrition, sleep, breath, and movement do the heavy lifting. Supplements, if used, are supporting cast. Mindset is the quiet amplifier. After 65, your body appreciates preparation and patience. Harsh self-talk and performance tests undercut the parasympathetic state you need. Treat intimacy like fine conversation, not a timed exam. Slow build-up, warmth, and relaxed breath invite the response you want. Confidence grows when you consistently create the conditions, not when you demand results on command. Now let's answer the title question one more time, precisely and without drama. After 65, many healthy men experience morning firmness several times per week, sometimes less, with meaningful variability. More important than counting episodes is confirming that the body responds when you provide warmth, calm, and connection. If you're seeing no response at all across multiple weeks, despite solid sleep, movement, and stress care, or if there has been a sudden change, treat that as useful data and get a thorough check of cardiovascular health, glucose control, sleep quality, and medication effects. When the system is supported, frequency finds its level naturally. Here's a concise self-check you can repeat on the first Sunday of each month, and you can speak it to yourself without writing anything down. How did I sleep this month? How often did I move my body most days? Did I practice 5 minutes of slow breathing at least 5 days each week? Did I notice 2 or more signs of easier responsiveness, morning firmness, evening ease, shorter time to respond when unhurried? If 2 or more answers are yes, you're on the right track. If not, choose one pillar to strengthen for the next 4 weeks and reassess. This approach removes panic and replaces it with process. Keep perspective. The goal of intimate wellness in the 60s, 70s, and beyond is not to replicate the past, it's to enjoy a present that suits who you are today. When you respect your body's new timeline and give it better inputs, the outcome often surprises you. Vitality in mature years has a calmer flavor. Fewer spikes, more steadiness, less urgency, more presence. That steadiness tends to improve relationships because pressure dissolves and trust takes its place. If you've listened this far, you already have what most men need to move forward: a clear map. Tonight, choose one change you will make: an earlier dinner, a 10-minute walk, a warm shower, 5 minutes of 4-6 breathing, the phone off after 8. Tomorrow morning, collect 10 minutes of daylight. This week, add the short strength routine and the pelvic floor coordination cycles. In 4 weeks, check your trend. In 8, check again. Your body will tell you the truth. Never forget the deeper message. Intimate function after 65 is a conversation between your heart, your nerves, your breath, and your beliefs about aging. When you steady your sleep, move your body, soften your pelvis, and calm your mind, responsiveness returns more often and with less effort. You did not lose your potential. It was waiting for better conditions. I'm Dr. Linda Parker. If this gave you clarity, share it with someone who needs calm, science-informed guidance instead of pressure. Subscribe if you'd like more practical sessions on circulation, confidence, and mature wellness. Remember this single line as you go: it's never too late for your body to feel more at home. Create the conditions and let it meet you there.